Have you ever wondered why your girlfriend suddenly becomes obsessed with you the moment you stop texting back? Why she transforms from cold and distant to desperately seeking your attention when you pull away? You're about to discover one of the most powerful psychological weapons in human interaction, a weapon so devastating that Machiavelli himself would applaud its strategic brilliance. You've been lied to. Every relationship coach, every dating guru, every well-meaning friend has told you that communication is key, that you need to express your feelings, explain your actions, justify your decisions. But what if I told you that this constant need to communicate is exactly what's destroying your power in relationships? What if the very act of explaining yourself is handing her the remote control to your emotions? The pain you feel, that constant anxiety about saying the right thing, that exhausting need to always be on, that frustration when she seems to have all the emotional leverage, it all stems from one fundamental misunderstanding. You believe that words create connection, but in the ruthless game of female psychology, silence is the ultimate power move. Today, you'll learn the Machiavellian truth about why strategic silence drives women to the edge of madness. You'll understand the hidden mechanics of female emotional control, and most importantly, you'll master the art of using silence as a weapon of mass seduction. You need to understand something fundamental about female psychology. Women are masters of emotional warfare. From the moment they enter the social arena, they're trained in the subtle arts of influence, manipulation, and control. And their primary weapon, constant emotional engagement. Think about it. When you first met her, what happened? She created a web of communication, texts throughout the day, long phone calls at night, endless conversations about feelings, dreams, and desires. You thought this was intimacy. You thought this was connection. But what you didn't realize is that you were being slowly conditioned, like Pavlov's dog, to need her emotional validation. Every time you responded to her texts immediately, every time you explained your actions, every time you reassured her feelings, you were handing her another piece of your power. She learned your patterns, your triggers, your weaknesses. She discovered exactly which buttons to push to get the reactions she wanted. Women dominate relationship dynamics through what I call emotional saturation. They flood you with stimuli, validation when you please them, withdrawal when you don't, drama when they need attention, sweetness when they want something. It's a constant roller coaster designed to keep you off balance and reactive. You've experienced this yourself. Remember when she sent that text that seemed upset, and you spent hours trying to figure out what you did wrong? Remember when she suddenly became distant, and you found yourself doing everything to win back her affection? That's not coincidence. That's strategy. Here's what's really happening. She's testing her power over you. Every message she sends, every emotional display, every sudden mood shift, it's all designed to gauge how much control she has over your emotional state. And the more you react, the more you reveal your hand. But what happens when you break the pattern? What happens when you stop playing by her rules? When you implement strategic silence, you create what psychologists call a pattern interrupt. Her entire system of control depends on your predictable responses. When you suddenly go quiet, her psychological operating system crashes. Picture this: she sends you a message designed to provoke a response. Maybe it's subtle, a photo with another guy, a story about her exciting night out, a comment about how distant you've been lately. In the past, you would have responded immediately. You would have asked questions, sought reassurance, tried to reconnect. But this time you don't. You read the message and you do nothing. What happens in her mind during your silence is fascinating. First comes confusion. Did he see my message? Is his phone broken? She checks her sent messages, checks your online status, maybe even texts a friend to see if you're okay. Then comes irritation. How dare he ignore me? Doesn't he know I need a response? She starts crafting follow-up messages, each one carefully designed to break your silence. But you remain unmoved. Next arrives anxiety. This is where the real power shift begins. What if he's with someone else? What if he's losing interest? What if I pushed him too far? Her mind races through possibilities, each one more troubling than the last. Finally, desperation sets in. This is when you'll see the most dramatic transformation. The woman who was playing games, testing boundaries, pushing buttons, She suddenly becomes vulnerable, genuine, almost submissive in her desire to reconnect. You need to recognize the tactics she'll use to regain control because they're predictable and powerful. The concern bomb. Hey, is everything okay? I'm worried about you. This seems caring, but it's actually a guilt trigger. She's trying to make you feel bad for causing her worry. The drama creation. Suddenly, she has an emergency. Her car broke down. She's having a terrible day. She needs someone to talk to. She's creating a scenario where ignoring her makes you the villain. The seduction strike. Out of nowhere, she sends that photo, you know the one, or she accidentally runs into you looking absolutely stunning. She's switching from emotional to sexual manipulation. The reverse psychology. Fine, don't talk to me. I don't care anyway. She's pretending to match your silence, hoping your ego will make you break first. The public display. She posts on social media about having such an amazing time or being so happy lately. She's trying to trigger your jealousy and fear of missing out. Here's what most men don't understand. Women need your validation far more than you need theirs. But they've created a social narrative that says the opposite. They've convinced you that male attention is abundant and worthless, while female attention is scarce and valuable. The reality, when you withdraw your attention, you're removing something she's become addicted to. You're taking away her daily dose of ego fuel. You're forcing her to confront the possibility that she might not be as irresistible as she thought. Think about how she acts when you're fully engaged. She's confident, maybe even a little dismissive. She takes her time responding to your messages. She cancels plans last minute. She keeps you guessing about her feelings. But watch what happens when you go silent. Suddenly she's double texting. She's asking mutual friends about you. She's showing up places she knows you'll be. The hunter becomes the hunted. There's actual science behind this. When you maintain regular contact with her, her brain receives steady doses of dopamine, the reward chemical. Your attention becomes her drug, and like any addiction, she needs increasing doses to feel the same high. When you cut off the supply, she goes through withdrawal. Her brain, desperate for that dopamine hit, starts obsessing over you. You become all she can think about. Every notification on her phone makes her heart race, hoping it's you. This is why silence is so powerful. You're not just playing a psychological game. You're triggering fundamental biological responses. You're literally rewiring her neural pathways to crave your attention. The pivotal moment arrives when she reaches what I call the validation crisis. This is when her entire self-image starts to crumble under the weight of your silence. You see, women build their self-worth largely on their ability to attract and influence men. It's not shallow or calculated. It's evolutionary. For thousands of years, a woman's survival depended on her ability to secure male investment and protection. That programming doesn't disappear just because we have smartphones and dating apps. When you maintain strategic silence, you're threatening her most fundamental sense of self. The internal dialogue becomes torturous. Why isn't he responding? Have I lost my touch? Am I not attractive anymore? Did he find someone better? Was I just a game to him? Did he ever really want me? This spiral of self-doubt is devastating to the female psyche. She's used to being the one with options, the one who can withdraw attention and watch men scramble. But now the tables have turned. She's experiencing what you've felt so many times before, the powerlessness of wanting someone who seems indifferent to your existence. At this breaking point, something remarkable happens. The masks fall away, the games stop, the tests cease. What emerges is raw, authentic desire. She stops playing the role of the unattainable goddess and becomes simply a woman who wants you. Her messages become honest. I miss you. Can we talk? Her behavior becomes consistent. Her interest becomes genuine. This is the moment of complete role reversal. She's no longer testing your worthiness. She's proving hers. She's not making you chase. She's pursuing. She's not creating hoops for you to jump through. She's jumping through yours. But here's the crucial insight. This transformation isn't manipulation on your part. You're not tricking her or playing cruel games. You're simply refusing to participate in hers. You're establishing a new dynamic based on mutual respect rather than emotional manipulation. When she breaks first, and she will, the entire relationship dynamic shifts. You've proven that. 1. Your emotional well-being doesn't depend on her validation. You have options even if you don't, she believes you do. 3. You can't be controlled through emotional manipulation. 4. You value yourself more than you value her approval. 5. You're the prize, not her. This shift is permanent. Once a woman sees you as the one with higher value, she can't unsee it. Every interaction moving forward will be colored by this new understanding. She'll work harder to keep your interest. She'll be more genuine in her affections. She'll respect your boundaries. Now you understand the dark art of strategic silence. You've seen behind the curtain of female psychological operations. You possess knowledge that most men will never grasp, trapped as they are in the validation-seeking behaviors that society programs into them. The lesson is brutal in its simplicity. Silence is the highest form of psychological dominance in male-female dynamics. By withdrawing your validation, you force her to seek yours. By refusing to play her games, you become the game master. But let me be crystal clear about something. This isn't about becoming a cold, emotionless manipulator. This isn't about punishing women or treating them cruelly. This is about understanding the hidden dynamics at play and refusing to be a victim of them. When you master strategic silence, you're not becoming less caring. You're becoming more valuable. You're not playing games. You're refusing to be played. You're not manipulating, you're establishing boundaries. Machiavelli understood that power isn't about force, it's about perception. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." When you maintain silence, you become a mystery, and mystery is the foundation of attraction. The prince doesn't explain his every move to his subjects. The king doesn't justify his decisions to his court. The man of value doesn't seek permission or validation for his choices. By mastering silence, you join the ranks of men who understand that absence creates value, mystery generates attraction, emotional independence establishes dominance. The person who needs the other less controls the relationship. But here's the deepest truth of all. When you stop needing her validation, something magical happens. You become the man she actually wants. Not the needy, approval-seeking nice guy, not the emotional tampon who's always available, but the strong, independent, mysterious man who chooses to be with her, not because he needs her, but because he wants her. This is the paradox of attraction. The more you chase, the more she runs. The more you pull away, the more she pursues. The more you talk, the less she listens. The more you stay silent, the more she wants to hear your voice. From this moment forward, you have a choice. You can continue playing by the old rules, always available, always explaining, always seeking approval. Or you can embrace the power of strategic silence. You can be the man who jumps every time his phone buzzes, desperate to maintain her interest. Or you can be the man who responds on his own timeline, whose attention is a reward, not a given. You can be predictable, safe, and ultimately forgettable. Or you can be mysterious, challenging, and absolutely unforgettable. So I ask you, how many times have you felt manipulated by feminine emotional games? How often have you found yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, explaining actions that need no explanation, seeking approval from someone who should be seeking yours? If you're tired of being played, if you're ready to flip the script, if you want to become the prize instead of the pursuer, then strategic silence is your weapon. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use this knowledge wisely. Don't become the very thing you despised, a manipulative game player. Instead, become something greater, a man who understands the game so well that he transcends it. The next time she tests you, the next time she plays games, the next time she tries to manipulate your emotions, remember this video. Remember that your silence is more powerful than any words. Remember that your absence creates more attraction than your presence ever could. You now possess the keys to the kingdom. The question is, will you use them? Tell me in the comments below. Have you ever experienced the power of silence in your relationships? Has a woman ever gone crazy trying to get your attention after you pulled away? What happened when you stopped playing by her rules? If this video opened your eyes to the hidden dynamics of male-female psychology, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more brutal truths about relationships that nobody else will tell you. And don't forget to check out our previous videos on female psychology, especially the dark psychology of feminine testing and why she loses interest when you show too much love. Remember, the man who masters silence masters the game. The man who needs constant validation has already lost. Stay strong, stay silent, stay powerful. The game has changed. Make sure you're playing to win.